Coming up next is Sayali Kashikar. So she's going to speak on elevating customer experience, mastering change with PROSCI and ADKAR. Again, both of these terms were really new for me, and I did not know nothing about it. I only heard it in the dry run. So Sayali, please take the center stage. Of course, Sayali likes gardening and she loves to travel. So if anyone wants to connect on that with her, is also welcome.
Okay, hi everyone. Good afternoon. I hope everyone is awake. Okay, this question is asked, I think, several times. Let me set the context because the PROSCI and ADKAR, both words are very new to most of you. So let me start with a story. Okay, you have a couple of restaurants. You have restaurant A and restaurant B. Okay, both decide to ditch the service counter process and they go for a touchscreen, sleek touchscreen experience. You go to the first restaurant and you have nobody to tell you what to do, how to use the system. You just go there and you have to order it all by yourself. What kind of experience will be that? Then you go to the next restaurant, there is a big board that says, okay, we have a new process in place and this is how you use it. There are pamphlets on your table, how to use it step by step, how to touch the screen, how to order your menu, how to get your bill, etc. That would be a experience, some good experience you'll have. You'll visit the second one more. What would the first restaurant do better to improve their service? They should have told why this is happening, when this is happening, how to use this, but they did not. So this is how structured change can make all the difference. So today I am going to talk about elevating customer experience by mastering change with PROSCI and ADKAR. I hope I set the context right before I start. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so first little bit something about me. So I have almost 8 years of experience in change management, process management, knowledge management and software engineering. I am born and brought up in Nagpur. I have moved to Pune 8 years ago for work and I have been living here since. So let's go to the agenda now. So what we are going to learn here? We are going to understand what is PROSCI, what is ADKAR. We are going to see a use case because these topics look theoretical, to be honest. And then we are going to see what are the risks, what are the challenges, how can we overcome them, and let's have some key takeaways. You can, I'll ask a few questions to see if you're awake in between. And I may not ask also, so be ready. Okay, so what is PROSCI, guys? It's not a dish. So it's basically a combination of two words. Oh, it did not happen. Okay. Yeah. So PROSCI is a combination of two words, that's professional and scientific research. So that's PROSCI. So it's basically a change management framework. It will focus on the people side of the change. It will focus on helping organizations to manage the change effectively. So there are a lot of key components to PROSCI, but the main one is ADKAR. Our star is ADKAR. So I think I have said ADKAR more than 7 times, but you don't know what it means. So ADKAR is basically a step-by-step process guide to make your change actually stick. So I have been talking, so this ADKAR is basically an abbreviation of 5 words. Awareness, desire, knowledge, ability and reinforcement. So let's dive into them step by step. Okay, so what is awareness? People generally think making people aware of that change is telling them, okay, this is coming, and that's it. But it's not like that. You have to tell them why this change is needed, what happens if you don't change, and what will happen if you change. Then second is desire. Okay, you are on board, you know why this particular thing is happening. But what's there for you? Why should you care? Why should I care? So you have to tell them what are your benefits, how it is going to improve your life, how it's going to make your life easier. Third part is knowledge. Knowledge is basically telling them how to use that particular change, how to get on board with that change. When you say getting on board is basically teaching them the skills to learn it. These might be a lot of concepts to you right now, but when we go to the use case, it will be easier for you to understand. Then the fourth one is ability, is basically implementing the skills that you learn in the previous step. And then the last one is reinforcement. Reinforcement is basically making the change actually stick. Because let's be honest, old habits are hard to die. You will always go back to your old habits that I use this now this is new, I'm not going to use it. You go back and all this goes in vain. So when you see this, there would be a question that why do we have to follow all these steps sequentially? So no, you don't have to. It is not one size. So it can be tailor-made for you. You can decide whatever you want to use and in whichever sequence you want to use. So it will be clear now with a use case that we have. Okay, let's say you have a SaaS company. It could be any company, it could be a bakery also. So you have a SaaS company that wants to move from the digital PDFs or static PDFs to an AI help center. I know you guys don't like AI help centers, chatbots, that's fine. But let's see, what do you do without PROSCI and ADKAR? You first go and announce the change over emails, okay, that AI help center is coming and it is going to come out on 1st January, brace yourself, and this is the link, that's it, done. Then you go launch the AI help center on that date, and third, you tear all the old PDFs, you absolute them, and then you congratulate the team that the 10 people, they did a lot of work, congratulations, and done. What happens after this? What if people don't know how to use that AI system? What if people don't understand how they have to do their searches? So, what if the leadership does not understand, does not want to be part of that? Now they want to go back to their old PDFs, but they cannot because you have absoluted them. So you're stuck between a change with angry customers. You don't know what to do, and you're just doing bug fixes, and you're trying to talk to them individually, wasting everybody's time. So here now let's see what we can do with PROSCI and ADKAR and how we as technical writers come in here. Before we start, I want to tell you that the expectation from this is not that you understand it 100% and you go home becoming an expert in PROSCI and ADKAR. This is just to tell you how the process works and how you can implement this, and this also depends on what kind of change that comes to you. It can be a small company, like a team change or an organization change or anything. It is not something that you have to follow for everything. This is just an example and you can use it as a reference. Okay, so we'll see what the first step could be. The first step for us is awareness, that why this change is happening. So there are what happens at the back end and that communication to the end users. So let's see what are challenges right now. So there are high volume of support tickets, and there are hard to navigate PDFs. There is the customer service, the customer struggle with self-service. There is the leadership does not see the visibility for documentation impact. Now who are the stakeholders here? The stakeholders, the leadership. The leadership means the sponsors of this change who brought this proposal out. What do? They have to understand the business impact. The support team have to find and report the common pain points, and the product team, who could be developers, product engineers, IT, anyone, they ensure that the help content should align with the features. Now what do we do at the back end, not to the users? First, we conduct an audit, identify where the gaps lie. Then secondly, we analyze all the support tickets and report all the recurring issues for us that will further help us during creating the AI Help Center. Then create a presentation, create a proposal for leadership and tell them how we can proceed. This happens in the back end. Now what do you tell the customers? You tell your customers or your end users that why this change is happening, and gather all, first you take a survey, ask your users what are their pain points, where they are lagging, and gather it through surveys and feedback. Inform users about what the improvement is, why it is coming, and what happens if you don't change. And then once this is done, you create a desire. Why should your employee or customer care? Now what challenges do you face in this phase? Okay, there would be resistance from many teams, and from my experience, there is always resistance. So there would be concerns about migrations and the AI accuracy. How can we do it with AI? We had good old PDFs that would work. Okay, so what do our leadership does here? They have to first approve the budget and resources, very important. And what does our product and AI teams do? They start creating structured content for AI. So when I say that they have to create the content for structure and AI, since as technical writers we might not be the SMEs for this, but we are sure the content creator for this. So at the back end, what the technical writers do, they develop a business case for AI benefits. They create internal FAQs for our support teams and to address their concerns. They create case studies with parallel companies who use AI help centers, and then what they communicate to the end user is they explain the benefit of this help service. This is going to save your time. It's going to be efficient. It's going to be at your fingertips and so on, whatever. And then they are going to share a timeline for the upcoming changes so that your user, the person who we are dedicating this to, understands what is in line, what they should expect. So here, until now, we keep a clear communication to our users. Our users are understanding why is this change is happening, and they are on board. They know what they want. Now let's see what the next step is. It is the knowledge. How do they use this? Now the challenge for knowledge is we know that this change is coming and why it is coming, but they don't know what to do with it. So first we need to educate them. They need to have, they don't have the expertise to use this. And they need a structured content for AI accuracy. What does this engineering and support team do? They implement the AI search capabilities and they start training on this. And what do? We develop structured writing guides, create trainings for teams for AI-driven content, and work with AI engineers to make that the search and data is actually proper and AI document friendly. And what do we tell our end users? We start providing them guides, know-how, quick reference guides to use this AI help center. Then we offer FAQs, basics to help them with this new functionality so that they get familiar with this. Now at this point, they know why this change is coming, they are on board, they know what to do. Now if you stop here and don't give them a hands-on experience, they are going to fail at the when you publish this change, when the change goes out. So the next step and one of the most important part here is the ability. Can they actually use it? Now here comes the testing time. What are the challenges in this particular place is you have to actually migrate the PDFs into the AI friendly content. You have to ensure that the AI searches get correct answers. Now what does your AI team and your support team do? They test and refine that accuracy, they validate that content is okay. Now what do? We optimize, we convert the static PDF into the AI searchable articles. We optimize our content, we take AI test responses, and we refine our content accordingly. And this is an ongoing process, it does not stop once you're done, because it continuously takes refinement, it will not stop at once. Okay. Then what do we communicate to your end user? Now we start announcing the change has happened, or we give them how to do it guides and quick reference guides and documentations. We prepare and make schedules for our users to interact with their SMEs or subject matter experts for better understanding this change. And then provide search and tips to encourage feedback. This is where they get a hands-on of the actual change, actual product that we are going to give it to them. So now you would say, okay, it is done now. They know what is it, why they are on board, how to use it, and they have actually implemented it, done change, right? You would stop here, but here comes the game changer. Now how to sustain this change? You have done everything and then you are like, okay boss, I have done this, ये लो change हो गया, हमने push कर दिया, अब लोग use कर रहे हैं, हमारा हो गया, हम जा रहे हैं. But that does not work like that, because the moment everything is done and there is no further communication on this, people would just go back using their old static and digital PDFs because they find it more reliable. This is new, and old habits are hard to leave. So what challenges is here? You have to maintain the accuracy and effectiveness. You have to ensure that AI adapts the evolving user needs, and that's a constant effort. It does not have like finish over a month or a sprint. Then what your AI team or support team does, they improve their search algorithms, they report recurring changes, because once, even though you start using your AS Help Center, that does not mean people will magically stop using the old PDFs here. Then what do? We analyze what AI data is there, and we analyze it and we use it to improve the current articles that we have in the AI Help Center, and update the content based on user behavior and their feedback. And then we conduct regular audits and remove all the outdated and irrelevant data. And what do we communicate to our users? We collect their feedback for continuous improvement. We inform them with new updates and enhancement. We send them reminders for best practices and tips and tricks. Now here you will say, okay, done. We are doing this. Now chalo, we are done with this. Now let's see what benefits we get after this change is done. So the end user gets benefits like there are few support tickets, there is improved customer service, there is better AI search results, there is continuous content optimization going on, and then there is improved user adoption. And the actual company that used this had their tickets reduced by 26% in the first year with great customer satisfaction. So does this mean we get success? Yes and no. Yes, because the change was successful in its first pilot. That does not mean that it will go ahead like that. You stop reinforcing, you stop tailoring the content, it goes back to what it was. The recurring tickets would come back flooding, and the 26% that you got, the reduction 26% will again go by 40% maybe. So when you would say, Sayali, when do we stop? Are we going to do this for 10 years? Maybe. So you have to make sure that you continuously check with using your feedback and your trends, what kind of tickets you're getting, what kind, with respect to this example of course, what tickets are you getting, what are the trends, are we still getting the old tickets that we have the content for, then what is wrong with our content? You improve that, you always revise it, you update it. And if you see, maybe you would start checking it every quarter. Okay, for 3 quarters, we receive, the reduction is constant. Then we go into maintenance mode maybe. We just send them reminders, we just improve our content every quarter. If new teams come, we again go back, creating awareness and desire for them and giving them knowledge and teaching them how to use this whole system again. And again go into maintenance mode. Until this change becomes a new normal, we are still there in some or the other way. We don't have to go it in the sequence that we need to create awareness first and then make the change desirable and then give them the knowledge and give them the skills to implement it and again reinforce it. We don't have to do it always in that same sequence. It depends on what kind of need you have and what kind of project it is. So let's if this works, but again everything is not hunky-dory all the time. So there might be some risks and challenges, and especially for technical writers here. So there is always limited visibilities. Many times documentation is overlooked and it is hard to secure resources for that. Then there are competing priorities again, because many technical processes take time and hence delaying our communication. There is always resistance to new approach because again, like I said, old habits are hard to kill. And which in turn will slow the innovation. Then there is inconsistent support, because not every time you go for a change, it will go in a linear path. Sometimes there will be ups and there will be downs, and it might not manage. And sometimes leadership might not see the future or see the big picture, and they would withdraw their support or their sponsorship, and you would not have great support there. And last but not the least, under-resourced team. So there might be tight budgets and small teams which might delay this change. So how do we overcome this? So overcoming this is super easy. One is you have to always have clear communications with your stakeholders, even though they are technical side people or your product team or your sponsors or your change management team. Anybody, you have to give them a clear picture that what is happening, what are the probabilities in future. Then you give them a clear idea of what can go wrong and what can go right. So keeping them with you on your side helps to overcome all these challenges. So let's see what are the key takeaways you can take from this. So the first and foremost is change is not about process, it's about people. If you can get one individual through the change, you can get a team. If you can get a team, you can get an organization. Then second is PROSCI is a structured approach for organizational change. And then third is ADKAR is makes sure that the individual moves through the change, transitions through the change effectively and smoothly. It is not just implemented, it is embraced. Then there are three pillars to any change. One is your sponsor, the one who proposes this change. One is the technical side who works on implementing this change. And third leg is us in technical writers and the change management, which drives the people side of the change. And last but not the least, technical writers, they work as a bridge. They solve the complex jargons, complex complex changes through clear communication, makes it more user friendly and helps users adapt this change more smoothly. And before closing, I would say don't think ADKAR or PROSCI as rule books. You have to follow this for every change you have, but think it as a guidebook that will help you drive through the change smoothly. Thank you.